So if you're comfortable, we can start now.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you were talking about F&B.
Yeah. Actually, F&B, you need passion. Actually, you need passion because it depends on the location also, where you are working. So for those who actually love cooking, they will keep on exploring new cooking methods and then new dishes coming out. But when you want to take it as a job, it's quite hard for those because F&B is long working hours, and then the place is hot, and then a lot of time that all those new cooks, they might think, well, why all my chef are shouting at me? Actually, they are not shouting because of the environment is very noisy. As all the exhaust, gas are burning, cooking, everything cutting. So they speak louder in order to pass the message clearly to the cooks who are helping him, assistants, all that. So some they don't understand. They thought, wow, this chef who are coming from work until finish, you can hear him shout.
It's a very masculine kind of environment also.
Yeah. So they have to pass you the correct message.
When I was in poly, right, I used to work in a Chinese restaurant.
Oh, okay.
I don't know whether you've been there before. Last time there's this restaurant called Bao Ping Chun. The owners imported this tree from Australia, right? There's shaped like a bottle one. So the name of the restaurant is called Bottle Tree Restaurant.
Okay.
They used to have one in Sembawang, all the way inside the beach there, right? There's a Old Kampong Mosque. You go in even further, right? They have a restaurant over there.
So is it still there? No?
Now because I think the land, the lease, they finished already.
Oh.
So I think they moved somewhere, but I'm not sure where they are now. The other thing is, if you pass by Khatib MRT to Yio Chu Kang MRT, you see there's this place, Octo, right?
Yeah.
Got prawning, got restaurant, got multiple restaurants inside.
Last time always so good down there, walking, exploring the goods.
The first restaurant that took over that space, right, is Bottle Tree.
Oh, okay.
So they used to take over that space. And I used to work as the kitchen, not say kitchen runner, because kitchen runner is work in the kitchen. I used to work as so I would take the dishes from the kitchen out to the serving area for the waiter to dispatch the dishes.
Okay.
So the Tao Chiu, the Piety, wow, famously, notoriously bad one. And somehow he has the look to go with it, He looked like a Pai Lang, basically.
Okay.
So Chinese restaurant, one of the key dishes that we sell, of course, is seafood.
Yeah.
So my boss has this philosophy, right? The fish that goes out to the customer, right?
Yeah.
As long as the customer say that the fish is not fresh, right?
Yeah.
They will reserve another fish. So the customer already, and that one considered buang already because that dish the customer already, the dish they already tried before. And they say, 老板，这样你的鱼好像不是很新鲜呢。二话不说，马上换一条。Wow, got one time I tell you, the Tao Chiu was so angry. He was, holding his chopper and holding his ladle and all. Wow, taking the chopper, 什么叫不新鲜？这种鱼你跟我还讲不新鲜。So I can totally relate about the environment. To you now, right? What is the difference between a career and a job and something that just put rice on the table, bread on the table?
Okay, to me, a career means you start from something totally you don't understand. You start from zero, start from scratch, and then you go all the way up. You got so much passion in that particular things you do. I think that will make a good career for your life. But if you are skipping here and there, hopping here and there, I don't think you can actually focus on the career. You're just focusing on doing a job. So whoever pays you well, we will go there. As for me, this many years I've been doing part-time. I don't hold a full-time job because of my commitment. I'm a prison volunteer, and then we have support groups outside, and then we do aftercare also, which means that when those brothers inside. They finished their sentence. So we are outside helping them, which is called Aftercare, which means that we help them to look for jobs. If they are rejected by their family, we will help them to find a place to stay first for the time being, maybe be it a halfway house or a three-quarter house. And then at the same time, we try to help him build up his foundation, which means that his life. So we hope that they will not be going back to their old friends. It doesn't mean that their old friends are no good, because we have to bring them out of the comfort zone, because they are so used to that lifestyle, their old friends, the language they use, the lingo they have. So they cannot break the cycle. Very fast they will go back, they will relapse and then go back to their old ways again. So we are trying to help them.
Help them find a new environment.
Yeah, also to journey with them, provided if they want.
This is a volunteer job?
Yes.
Not paid?
Not paid.
Okay.
So that's why I have to work part-time to support myself also. Thanks God I have a very good wife. Okay. We divorced and we married again.
Oh. After how many years?
After about 7 years.
So divorce for 7 years?
Yeah.
Then remarry again?
We were separated for about 7 years. And then we go through a divorce. And then in 2016, we married again.
Okay. You went back to reconcile the relationship?
Actually, we still maintain a very good relationship as friends. So things just happen. That's why I always encourage those who have my background. I'm a 4-time drug addict. Okay, I went in prison, all related to drugs for 4 times. So during the last time when I was out, I went to a halfway house, but was not successful for the second time. Okay, the first time I stay in the halfway house for a program about a year. Then I left, and then I backslide. I go back to drugs again. Then after 3 months, then I go to another halfway house. So after detoxing, and then I stay there for 7 months. But after 3 months stay, I go back to drugs again. I even took drugs in the halfway house. That was very bad. So this is the thing that troubled me for many years, and I always feel bad when I meet the director there. So I go back to drugs again, and then I left the halfway house, was chased away. So I go back again.
What is a halfway house?
Okay, halfway house are a non-profit organization that was started by some ex-offender. So they have a passion, they have a burden to help these people, be it alcohol addiction, gambling addiction, or even drug addiction. So some might just they have no place to go after they finish their sentence, or they're being chased out by the family because of some attitude, character problem or that. So these people some who know, they might go to a halfway house. So halfway house provide them a place to stay.
So halfway house is the organization, the volunteer organization?
Yes. Just like Helping Hand, we have Teen Challenge, we have New Carries, we have Breakthrough Mission, all that. They are very big. They are well known now. And then there are some smaller one, which is started by some pastor and then all that.
I'm curious now that you are talking about this, right?
Yeah.
When you're a drug addict, wouldn't you get caught by the police and you will be in prison or in DRC? How come you get the opportunity to be in a halfway house instead? Okay,
if we are caught, we will be sentenced to DRC. And then there is a program. If they have a regular family visit, they might give them the program that they can go back. Okay, they will release them about 6 months to 1 year earlier under a program scheme that they can go back to their home and then they can go and work. But they still have to report to the camp for urine test. And then some will be have a halfway house program. That means the halfway house people will come and interview them, like breakthrough, teen challenge, helping hand, all that. So they can go to this halfway house. So they go there partially is to learn, to go back to society, reintegrate back to society. But it also depends on the mindset of these people. That's why we are going into prison. We try to help them to change their mindset. Because I always believe there are three types of people who walks into a halfway house. Now we can walk in also, of course, after interview. Then if we need detox, then they will send us to like IMH or even NAMS to do a detox, and they will go and fetch us and bring us to the halfway house. So back to the three character in the halfway house. Normally I will set at three character. The first one, I want to quit my drug addiction, which was my first time when I checked into a halfway house. Not successful. Because why? After my detox, after I quit my addiction, my character never changed. My attitude never changed. My group of friends never changed. So it's very fast. I go back. I'm still in that cycle. It's just like acting. I'm putting on a mask. I go there to do something, and then but everything is the same.
That means abusing drug is just a byproduct of the whole environment and the whole kind of people that you mix with and all.
Yeah, many times we like to blame. We like to push the blame, separate out. Gongsi like that. Oh, my boss lah, he don't trust me lah because of my background lah. My family lah, they don't trust me lah. I go in for 5 years, 7 years, I come out, they look at me like an alien like that, outcast me like that. So you see, people like us, we like to share. What I am now is because of you guys. So we are trying very hard to change that type of thinking. Addiction is a choice. We make that choice. But we push the blame to others. So it's a very lousy excuse. See, our family, our friends, they love us. No family member will, hey, you got no money. Come, I give you some money, you go and take drugs. Or I can buy drugs for you. No. Our family members, our friends won't do that to us. It's a choice we make. But we just like to push the blame away. Because of you, I go back to drug, because of this, because of that. So you see, we are trying very hard to change this type of thinking. So for the first character is, we go in to change, quit our drug addiction. Then the cycle remains. Second type of character is that they got no place to go. Their family kick them out. Because of their attitude, their character problem at home, they bring a lot of nonsense at home. So the family rejected them, and so they got nowhere to go. They go to halfway house, because halfway house provide food, provide a place for them to stay. If they go out and work, they will even pay pocket money every month. Okay, some halfway house they pay quite a lot. So this is the second type of people. For the third type of people, they go in, they're very sincere. They say, God, you help me to change my life. That was the third time I go to a halfway house. I pray to God, I say, God, you help me to change my life. Most of the halfway house are Christian-based, faith-based. There is one Buddhist one, okay, Green Heaven, Ching Song. And then there is two Islam one, Jamia and Betapis. And then there is a Hindu also. There's a Hindu halfway house also. I think it's Ashram. And then there's a female halfway house also in Singapore, only one and only, the Turning Point.
So it's a halfway house?
Yeah, that means that we are going through halfways of our life.
Okay.
So it's like a checkpoint. It's like a transit. That means we cannot make it by our own. That's why we have to go in and let people help us.
So these shelters as a whole, they are referred to as halfway house.
Yes.
But there are different operators and different organizations who operate all these halfway houses.
Yes.
So then again, so that means people who are in the halfway house are not caught by the police for their drug abuse?
Some are not caught. Some will walk in. Because some of us last time we try our best to quit our addiction, but we cannot make it. So we walk to a halfway house and then ask the director of the place to help us lah.
Because in Singapore it's illegal to use drugs.
Yes.
So that means if you are asked to do a urine test, and there are traces of drugs in your urine, that means you can be charged in court.
Yeah, normally
and it's a criminal offense.
Depend on the drug you are using. Okay, I think for heroin straight away they will it will be automatic go to DRC without trial.
So can I go to a halfway house and say admit that I have a heroin addiction and ask them to help me?
Can. So they will we will arrange to like send you to IMH to do a detox first.
But I will not be charged.
No.
Okay.
So there are still chances for those who really think they want to quit their addiction before they get caught.
How does a detox in IMH work?
Normally IMH they give you supplement. So for me all this year I understand that if you are using another substance to quit this substance, I think 99% is not successful.
Which is what they are doing in IMH?
Yeah.
So that means they are... okay. So they are not... So do they treat the symptom of... Because we know that drug abuse, when they do not have access to the materials, to the substance, the body may experience some withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah,
right?
yes. Definitely. So for the withdrawal symptoms is normally for those who are doing those those meds. So normally they will sleep. Because this drug keeps them awake, keeps us awake. So normally we don't sleep for days. Then after that, our withdrawal normally we go and sleep. And this is also the scariest part, that people believe they will not get hooked by using this med.
Because they can just go and sleep, and after they wake up, they have...
Yeah. So they have the thoughts that I'm not hooked to these drugs. Actually, we talk about addiction. Anything can be addicted, not just drugs.
Social media,
handphones,
porn.
Yeah, handphones. You see,
handphone.
How many of us can wake up for 1 week? We put our handphone away. First thing we do, we will scroll any WhatsApp or not, any message or not, Facebook, Instagram, everything. So that one considered is an addiction. If you cannot keep something away for you for 1-2 days, you need that thing. That means you are addicted to that thing. Even food. Some people without chili they can't eat. They die they must have chili. Okay. So these are all parts of the addiction. And then I think recently there's a lot of new cases coming out about youngsters being caught during operations, I think as young as 14, 15, 16 years old. So it's quite scary. I think they are moving into all these schools now.
Who is they?
These drugs, for sure. Okay. Many of them going into schools because of our high standard of living in Singapore. Most of the parents both have to go to work. And because they cannot spend too much time with the children, they tend to use monetary. They tend to give them a little bit more, so you can go and eat your favorite food. Okay, you don't have to go hungry, everything. But many of the children, they don't understand this. They thought that their parents don't love them. And then these pusher, they are smart. Because why? All these children got easy access to extra money. So they are the best to attack. So there are a lot of new addicts coming up, with which is below 30 years old. I think especially now I saw on the paper that LSD is coming back, which is called stem. It looks like a stem, very small. You put it under the tongue and then you start to have illusion. And then I think recently there was a case, right? A 22 years guy jumped down after he have LSD. It's quite sad.
I'm always curious, like, how are these, like, why are these, like, where do they get the sources from?
Or there is always a way to get the sources lah. Because you see, you got friends, and then you see them, they're doing very well. Especially some, you see, Brenda driving sport cars, staying in condo, then don't have to work. So some might felt curious. How come this brother no need to work? This big brother like no need to work. So and then every time he can go clubbing, right?
Spend big money.
We all do very chill one beside him, and then they get curious. They envy the lifestyle. How many people can live this lifestyle unless they come from very rich family lah. So normally it's drugs.
So they are pushing drugs.
Drugs was the fastest and easiest way to get money because you don't have to do sales. Everybody automatic, they will come to you if you have the supply. They will go and look for money and look for you.
And also now the demographics of people who abuse substance may not be the same as what people conventionally think that are those people who abuse substance.
Yeah, then they think they're cool. Yeah, I'm cool. Because this substance, it actually make your mind think likewise other things. It may sabotage your thinking that, after I take drugs, I relax one corner, I never go and disturb people. And then slowly it become a new norm. I never go and disturb people. I relax by myself. What's your problem? All that. See, it start to make us think this way.
Some of them might be even highly educated, high income, just very stressed from work. And they do what you just said. I buy, I relax one corner, I enjoy the experience, and I never disturb anybody.
But we thank God lah. Singapore is very strict on this thing, and then our government has put in a lot of effort together with our police force and then CNBs and then also public. So that's why we have a very safe place now. Can you imagine early in the morning when your children go to school and then you start worrying because canteen he can buy drugs, provision shop he can get drugs, and even everybody on bus stop pushing drugs, MRT station pushing drugs. You imagine that scenario. It's very scary,
When do you first start abusing substance? Which year?
Very young. When I was 9 years old, I'm 51 now. I was born in 1971.
That means before 1978, 79?
80, 79,
in the 80s you were already.
Because my father is an opium addict. So from a young age, I was exposed to all these activities. We stay in a one-room flat, those HDB one-room flat. So everybody see everybody. So I was exposed to all these activities, and then slowly, because of the opium is very hard to get as time goes by. So he was introduced to heroin by the neighbors. So I see all this, and then sometime when he had withdrawal, because my father's not just smoke, take drugs, he also drink, and he also gamble. So you can imagine when all this thing is not good to him on that very day, and then he had a withdrawal. So there's a lot of violence at home. Then my mom left us when I was 7 years old. And because of all this violence at home, so I cannot find love at home. So what do? I outsource. So I go to the neighborhood and look for love. So mix with the boys down there.
And it's a very open neighborhood, right? All the kids are running around.
And then some sniffing grooves. And then also some popping pills, sleeping pills, drinking. So I just mix with them because easier to mix. And then I don't like to study so hard. Because during my days, we have to go to library. Not like now you Google everything come out. It's so convenient. And then it's so smart. Our kids are very smart now. Not like our days. If you have to go to do any research, you have to go to National Library. The one and only. Not like now we have so many libraries in our neighborhoods. So I choose the other way. So to mix with them easier. So I start sniffing glue, I start popping pills, smoke, drink, everything before I even get my IC.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have an elder brother.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing quite well now. He's different from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even during when you all were younger, he didn't get mixed up in the neighborhood.
No, he mixed with some friends better one. All those.
Okay.
But
Now that in hindsight, right? Now that
Mm.
you are in your 50s, right?
Yeah.
And let's say you think about what happened to your elder brother, his journey, and your journey, right?
Yeah.
So is company the biggest difference? Who you mix with?
Yeah, I totally and strongly believe that the people who we mix with will groom us to someone we are today. Just like honeybees. I always like to quote this. You see honeybees, they work very hard. Sometimes you can see one or two. You don't see them comes in group, and then in the hot sun they go to collect pollen, and then they go back to their hives. It's very hard work, but end of the day they produce honey. What else? You can see house flies. They like to go in groups. Normally they go for free food lah. They don't work lah. So you see, normally you can see where they land most of the house. So I always encourage that hard work do pay off lah. So all these years, the only thing I regret is that I never studied hard during my younger days. Yeah.
Your brother did?
Yeah, my brother did.
Okay. But your English is very good.
I learn on my way lah.
Okay.
I learn, as years goes by, I talk a lot. I like to talk. And I like to outreach to people.
Okay.
And then even now I have a tour. I lead a tour. It's a partnership with AOL, Architect of Life, called Triad Trails. So it's a tour about the older days and about gangs and drugs. So this tour is somewhere around Boat Quay to Chinatown area. So we bring them around and then to see some special sightings.
Still can see.
Yeah.
The legacy lah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then things they might not know lah.
Where do you used to hang out as a 小混混?
I used to be at my kampong and then I start to run around.
So AOL, the Architect of Life,
Yes,
is the operator of this tour.
yeah. They also design programs and trainings to help all those youth at risk, and then also they're helping ex-offender to help them to get back their confidence when they reintegrate back to society. So this is how the tour comes about. Okay, I got another partner. We started all this together with Bruce Matthew. I believe you know him, Bruce Matthew. So we started this with the AOL team. They have a group of people, volunteers behind to help us look for some history of the places.
Do some research.
Yeah, and then also we do our own also lah. So that's where I learned. Actually, from starting, it was a very big challenge to us. We never lead tour before. I can't even imagine I can memorize all those history part. So
how long has this been going on? How long have you been doing this?
Since COVID, I think it's more than a year now.
Okay.
So I have to go and research all those history of the places, and then I have to memorize by heart, and then how I execute them to my clients when I bring them out to walk and explain to them about the places. I think it's a big challenge to me, and I accepted this challenge. And I always have a quote for myself. I'm always doing things that I never done before. That's how I learn. And I also hope that I can bring this message out to more people like my background, which is ex-offender, that don't stop learning. So that's how we started all this, and then now we also train new tour guides. Yeah, so they are mostly ex-offender also, and then also we train them to become table hosts, which that they host the clients after the tour. We will go to a restaurant to have a dinner, or even lunch, depends. So they will host them and share with them their stories, their life story, testimony, all that.
So are you a shareholder of the tour?
I'm
or are
just
you an
a
employee?
partner. I'm just a partner.
You are a partner of the tour.
So we go, we are paid, and then we train other people.
Okay.
So this is also another source of income for them and for us also. So I think it's very meaningful. Then we can share about our life, then more people know about our life. Actually, we are not that bad. Okay.
How frequently are these tours? Because actually that was how I got to know you as well. Because I was looking at Six Sophie's platform. Then I saw that this bunch of young ladies, they went to, they went on this tour.
Went for the tour. Yeah. Actually, they went for the one. That one was a new route. Yeah.
So what happens? And I saw that you all even like, there are some things that you all go through with them, like some chicken blood or something. Like,
That was the ritual part lah. Actually, it's the time when there are certain groups of people or gangs or secret society, they have to go through this ritual. So not all now lah. This is more to those hongmen, they call it hongmen. More they have this ritual. So I just to show them a bit what is actually going on.
So have you been in the secret society before, or have you always been more of a solo drug abuser?
I was once a member during my younger days, and after my NS, I left, and then I start mixing with others lah, which is not of the same gang lah. So until I go back to drugs again, and then I start to distance myself from all these people lah.
But even though you have distance, you still go back to your ways 2-3 times, 3-4 times.
Yeah, because they are different now. We are more close to drug addicts. So especially sometimes I have a conversation with the prison department, some officers inside, and then we were discussing about the system now, and then they asked me, Alvin, how do you think the system now in the prison, the DRC, are we improving during your time, the time now? I say, of course, they are improving. You're putting a lot of effort to help ex-offenders, especially addicts. But there is a problem which I think I always bring out to them. I say, if we wanted to help them, but we keep them all together. You see, all the DRC are drug addicts. So all the drug addicts, when they are putting into one single hall, one single shell or what, do you think they can change? They're actually maximizing their network. They get to know more people. So how to change? Especially when they are out and then they go for urine tests. They will see one another very often. For those who are not so strong, they will easily be tempted. So it's quite scary lah. That's why I always encourage those who are finishing their sentence. I advise them to go to a halfway house, because at least you go to a halfway house, you are supervised.
So self-check into halfway house.
Yeah. This is my advice to them lah. I encourage them to do this. It's not some will of course backfire. They say, I just finished my sentence from prison. Now we want to go halfway house again to continue another sentence. Do you see they have this mindset? But actually, this is helping them. You cannot prove anything when you leave the prison. You are just serving your sentence. Your character never changed. Everything never changed. This is your sentence. You think you're good? I don't think so. Because why? You are isolated. You are kept in a prison cell. You cannot do anything. You don't have anything. But once you are a free man, you walk out from that gate. You are free to do anything. That's the time to prove yourself. You can be in the prison for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. But you cannot prove yourself you are good. Because why? You got nothing to do inside there. You can do nothing inside there. But it's totally different when you step out of the gate. Just like a piece of meat. You throw it in a freezer, it's frozen. Once you take out from the freezer, it will rot. Unless you marinate it. So that's the thing that we hope they can understand. So going to a halfway house might help them to build their character, and then also to know new groups of friends and volunteers.
Yeah, the volunteers, which can provide some support.
Yeah.
So when you talk to people like the officers, when you talk about this issue that you see, right? People, this environment whereby they are all congregated together. Have you ever brainstormed about any possibilities that you think can improve the system that you have shared with them?
That's why we are doing aftercare. We are very strong in believing in aftercare. Aftercare, which is when they left prison, when they finish the sentence, or even when they go to a halfway house, we start to befriend them. That's why we have volunteers group. We have a support group in the Helping Hand. A group of ex-offender, a very big group.
So you all hope to inspire them?
We were being inspired by others during our time of incarceration. So some brothers who finish the sentence and then they go to a halfway house and then they become good and then they come back to prison to serve. So we were inspired by this group of people, and then we will ask ourselves, if these brothers can make it, I also want to make it. But how? There is a question mark there. How? So we have to mix with them and learn from them.
And for them, they can better relate to y'all because it's the same background.
Yes, precisely.
I think about someone who is getting released from prison. You look at Singapore's environment now, right? I can imagine it's really not easy one, Things are very expensive now.
Yeah.
If you, let's say just now earlier you were talking about people who were inside for 10 years, for 15 years, 20 years. They come out, right? It's a brand new Singapore.
Yeah, totally.
Totally, right? And even things like your handphone, the apps that you use and all. I don't know whether people get access to smartphones.
Okay,
inside
now the prison side, they are actually helping them to cope. They are using tablets now to write e-letters. The prison teach them. So last time when I was in DRC and then we call those officers warders. Now they got a very beautiful name. It's a personal supervisor. PS. Okay, personal supervisor. So normally they got problems, they can look for this PS, their PS. And then they are access to write e-letter. And also they have a program to teach them how to use a smartphone for those serving very long sentence one. And then of course there is a time when we have to move in, which is aftercare. I think Singapore quite a few organizations we are doing very well. Okay, like CCS, Christian Counseling Service, and then also PFS, Prison Fellowship Singapore, and then also for our group, Loving Hand Fellowship. Yeah, we are trying to help so much, and for certain things that we might not be able to access, is that we cannot outreach to their family yet. Not like those Prison Fellowship Singapore, because they are long enough in they can access to help their family. So for those of us who we met with problems that the inmate have at home, so we will talk to the officer, and we communicate with the officer, and we ask the officer to help us to connect them to those social service groups. So this is a lot of things that we have to learn, and then we have to know. That means the network, how it works. because we are not allowed to visit their families. But the social service worker, yes, they can. So we will connect them. We will talk to the officer. Can you help this inmate? His name, his number, what is his prison number? So he might facing like elderly. He got old parents at home. Then he's worried. Then we will help lah.
Also, while they are serving their sentence, you all already befriend them inside the prison, right?
Yes. That's why we go to prison every Sunday. We got different team lah. So we go in, we conduct chapel service. That means there's a message we share, and then after that we talk to them, and then see how actually, especially for those who are leaving soon, they are like, Sam, you got any plans or not?
Is it voluntary for them?
Sorry?
Is it voluntary for them when they are in prison? Can they choose one of these groups to work with?
They can choose to come to chapel service if they are Christian.
Then if they have other faith, then they can choose.
They choose to.
Can they also choose to just remain in their cell and not do anything?
Yes, there is people who are. But normally they will still choose to come out because why the hall got aircon. So they can chit-chat with their friends. So most of them, they will choose to come out. Because they got 2 hours to meet with those friends who are not staying together in the same cell.
Just the aircon is
just the aircon and
good enough reason to go out. Yeah.
Because normally we are in the cell for 23 hours every day. And then it's just a very small cubicle.
Okay, so after they are released, then you all follow up with them.
We will see where they go lah. If for those who get the program in halfway house, and then we will go to halfway house and visit them.
So do you specifically befriend drug abusers?
Normally now I'm serving them. My chapel service is for DRC.
Oh, for DRC. Okay.
Yeah. And then I used to meet a lot lah. Some just release 1-2 months, and then you see their face again, and they will shake their head. Bo pian lah, bo pian. I said bo pian.
When they say bo pian, why bo pian?
Temptation.
Okay.
Too strong. And then some might even have sibling doing drugs at home. So once they go back, of course, bo pian. For me also bo pian. To be very honest, many of my friends, they like to call us, wow, you're all now very successful. Wow, you're so many years recovered already. But we still have a term we like to share with them. We are not successful. We are just recovering addicts. Only until the day I die, I never backslide again. Then maybe you can say successful. That was my wake service.
So still in the process?
Yes.
Okay.
So I always share with them. That's why the people we are mixing with is very important. Just like our support groups. All these brothers are ex. So we are very sensitive on your body language, on your eyes, everything, the movement. We like to call ourselves like brothers keeper. We keep an eye on one another. We uphold one another. We help one another. This is what we always encourage them to join a group, a support group.
Support network.
Yeah, we support one another. Not just like recovering, also about work. And then how we can help you to reconcile back with your family.
So how many of these clients do you have now?
We have a lot. After they recover, they come back and join us.
Oh, okay.
And then we try our best to groom them and then to journey with them. If they have the burden, then who knows, one day we might just help them to apply a prison pass, and then they will be a prison volunteer like us.
So do you have people who are actively under you, like active cases? How does it work?
We are all together.
All together.
So
okay.
even the founder of Loving Hand Fellowship, we are like brothers. So normally when there is anything, they will hold a meeting and then discuss with everyone. I mean, everyone is involved. The
average drug user, right?
Yeah.
How much money do they spend on drugs?
Or depend on how heavy they are on drugs.
Okay, so let's say the average one?
Average one from 20, 30 to a few hundreds a day.
A day.
Depends. Yes.
When someone is abusing drug, the body's condition will not be optimum. They will not be able to work very well.
You see, because when we take drugs, the drugs will make us feel normal after taking drugs when you are addicted to it. So if you don't have that supply, your whole body will be abnormal.
Oh, so the state of normal becomes different.
Yes.
So you
So
need
only
that constant supply to
make you normal.
To feel normal. Okay. If not, there's the withdrawal symptom and
yes. And then most of the drugs addict, after they take drugs, they don't eat well. They skip meals. And then they like sweet things. Very, very sweet things. Okay. Sugar rush. So you see most of the those who are on heroin and all that, you see normally they shrink down a lot.
The body mass.
Yes, after I still remember my first arrest. I only weighed 45 kg. You can see it's horrible. I still got photo with me. So normally we don't eat the proper meal. And then our body start to slim down. You see, this is what the drug will cause.
So most drug abusers are able to hold a full-time job?
Normally won't. Quite hard after some time when sometimes their supply is out, or maybe their supplier was caught. So they cannot get their supply, they cannot work. They will face problem working. And also, if they have a change of supplier, the charge might be different. The price of the price of the drugs they are taking might be different. And then some are expensive.
Then their pay will just basically go to the supplier.
Yes.
Or even not enough.
Yeah, precisely. Then eventually they will have to push. So when those who are having a full-time job one, they will get more. And then they will repack it and sell to their friends. So they can cover some costs. So this is how it works all these years. So after some time when you're getting heavier and heavier, you cannot work. So they will buy more supply because they already have the client base, the customer base. So they straight away they do drugs.
It's to people outside the scene, right? It's we're always a bit curious because we know that CNB is very, very tough.
Yes.
On drug abusers.
Yes.
And we often read in the news that CNB would have, gone for all this operation. Just last week, there was this article about, I think, a 7-month pregnant lady. When CNB knocked on the door, she tried to escape the unit by climbing down the window, even though she was pregnant and all. The desperateness, to escape the CNB officers, right? But it still seems like drug is an issue in Singapore that can, we must always be on our toe to guard against drug syndicate and drug abusers. If the standard drop a bit, right, then you can imagine, like even at this standard now, right, in Singapore, such a small place, whereby CNB is so committed to all these operations, and we are still having all this problem. Imagine if the standard is a bit lower, like how big the problem would be.
Yes, especially as a small country like us. If our government doesn't put in so much effort in all these drugs things, gang things, I think Singapore is gone. You can see fights everywhere. You can see drugs everywhere, just like I mentioned just now. You imagine our children.
You mentioned about going to school and not feeling that school is a safe place, right? Yeah. Who are these syndicates?
These syndicates, normally businessmen. These are businessmen. They don't care. They only care about the figure in their bank account. So this is the thing will get you addicted, and then you will spend tons of money to maintain your addiction. So
why is CNB? Because we always say that, like 擒贼先擒王, right?
These syndicates are so smart. And then there are people who are facing financial problems, who are having not so smart. That means they have some health problems, especially the mental part. So they will use them to help them transport, like Korea. So you see, every day there are tons of cars, lorries coming in and out Singapore custom. Okay, it's very easy for them, actually.
Some quantity that will go undetected and all.
Yeah.
So every day the trade is active one lah.
Yes,
for sure lah.
because it's very good money. And then everybody, I always say, you have to look for money in order to get the things. So these people, they don't have to do sales. They just have to sit at home and they have the supply is enough already.
People will look for them.
Yeah, make sure the handphone is fully charged. That's it. If the handphone, the low bat, and then the phone is down, that's your problem. Only the addicts are panic. They are not panic.
Okay. Then people always wonder if the addicts can find all this supplier, then why can't CNB find this supplier?
Most of the CNB find this supplier through the addicts.
And they would catch them.
Yeah, that's how it works during the urine test, all these.
But they will mushroom out again lah.
Some they call, okay, normally they know.
Okay.
Normally they know.
Who know?
All these CNB know who is
who are the people.
But you see, once you get caught, then someone will be doing again. And then there are addicts going out. There are addicts who cannot afford. They start pushing. They become runner, all that. See, this cycle keeps moving on. So that's why we are trying our best to help as much as we can. Out of 100, if I can help one, that means I can consider successful, because I got another new partner for me to help me to outreach to another 100. So we start from one.
I really admire the work you're doing.
This is what others did to me during my time of incarceration. So I think that I also pray to God. I say, God, if you want to use me to go back to prison to serve the people inside, and I will quit my full-time job. That's how it comes. So I was with this support group, and then suddenly, that time I hold a full-time job. I was working in a cleaning line.
So you were already clean already?
Yes, I was working in a cleaning line, and then my friend brings me in. He was an operation manager during that time. Say, come and join this company. The company is growing very fast. And then I work as a supervisor, and then I pray to God. I really envy him. I say, God, I want to be like him. In 3 years' time, I want to become an operation manager. But in less than 2 years, I was promoted to OM. And then also there was a time after a few months of promotion. I still remember it was December, and then this pastor suddenly came, the support group pastor, which I was with. Say, Alvin, I applied prison pass for you, approved already. So next week you can follow me. I can bring you into a prison. You can follow. And then wow, December. So I tendered my resignation during that time.
Why? You don't have to be full-time to go into the prison to be a volunteer? Or because you already talk to God?
Yeah, because I have to keep my own promise.
Okay.
So when my faith is growing, I have a very good relationship with God, because that's how my life started to change all these years. And I start serving. So for the first 2 years when I was serving in prison, I hold a part-time job. I quit my full-time, and then every week I will go in twice for 2 years. So that means Tuesday and Sunday. Every Tuesday and Sunday I will go into the prison with the pastor. Then after 2 years, and then God opens another door, I was with the group I am with today. So I start learning new things. So this group of volunteers, they actually disciple me. They train me to share. And then eventually I even go to Bible college for a short period of time. It was like a miracle to me. It was a miracle to me, because a lot of all these institutions, they need at least minimum O level. So for me only PSLE, for me only PSLE, I have to go through a lot of stickers and challenges, and then God has sent me a lot of angels during this period of time to help me, to groom me. And then this is what we are still passing on now. We groom new volunteers. So we disciple them. We train them and then let them be able to handle the class, even when they are alone. So that's the most important part. So you cannot like rely on certain people when you go in, because we are training. We want partnership. We don't want security guard. I'm not bringing you to prison to be a security guard for me. I want you to outreach to the brothers inside also. So this is what we want.
Have you always been a Christian?
I changed my faith in 2009. I accepted Christ during that time. I did my baptism in 2009.
What was the story behind your...
I started from those Pai family. I went through a lot. I learned a lot. And then there was this time that when I was incarcerated, and all this, I was curious why so many Christian counseling classes all around. So I was thinking, I also want to know about this Christian thing. So I go and tell the officer that I want to attend chapel service. Then they look at my record. They say, "You are Buddhist." I say, "Yeah, I want to go for Christian class." So they let me go, and then after talking to all those volunteers, I start to understand what is love. Because these people always use their Sunday to come into prison, just to talk to us, to share with us about God, all that, about love. I was thinking, these Sundays, their off day, they can spend time with their family, their loved one, their parents, or whatever, like girlfriend or whatever. Why these people want to come inside here all the way and walk there? During that time, at my time, there is no aircon room. Only now we have. So I was thinking, why these people? Only until the day I become a volunteer myself, I understand. These people did this out of love. And actually, they are sharing part of their life with us. Because whenever they come in to talk to us for 2 hours, 3 hours, they lost 2-3 hours of lifespan just because of us. Someone we don't even know. They don't even know us. So until today, I really want to thank them for inspiring me to become a volunteer myself. So I hope that by volunteer my time and by sharing them my stories and how I overcome, I hope it can help them, encourage them, and inspire them also. That one day they also okay, I call it a quit. I want to stop. So this is what we hope to see.
So there are many different kind of love, right? Boy, girl, romantic love. There is the family, parent, children kind of love. When you talk about this kind of love, right? Like, is this a different kind of love that you have experienced in your life for the first time?
This is why when I told you that these people don't know us, why they want to spend time talking to us, encouraging us. Until the day I become a volunteer myself, I understand it. This is something which the God wants us to do to others. Like, if we cannot love people we don't know, it's very hard for us to love God instead, because we can't even see Him. And then a lot of things we have to start from our family. So when I share with these brothers inside, I say, if you really love your family, you have to change your life. You have to prove to them, instead of talking and giving broken promises. I say, I did that before. Then end of the day, my wife divorced me. Then I have to live life by myself, and then I lost all the trust I have from my friends. Then I started to rebuild my life again, and then that's how I am what I am today. It's all because of these groups of volunteers who we support one another a lot, and then we encourage one another a lot, and then also a group of people that we can share our problems with. This is very important for addicts and also for ex, because most of the time we have this mindset, especially for people like me. That there's a lot of problems we don't dare to share because why? Ego. You might think that lost face. But actually, if you don't share your problems, you cannot tell your problems to someone. How are you going to solve that problem? And it will snowball. And one day it will burst and then it will game. So it's very hard. So I encourage them that if you face problems, struggles, or anything, share with us or share with someone you trust. Then we see how we can tackle that problem, how we can solve that problem. If everything you keep to yourself, then there's nothing we can do also. So this is what another part.
So it's a two-way thing lah.
Yeah.
It's a two-way thing.
That's why I tell them, 撈開不要緊啊，冇開就玩完了。Right? 撈開唔係話 you build up your life again, but you 冇開係 game over already.
So we talk about the volunteers who came in and you feel inspired by them, that they are giving you essentially time and part of their life.
Yes.
What about your experience with God?
Okay, that was
when do you have started to have a closer experience with God?
Okay, that was the time when back in 2008, there was a time I thought of committing suicide. I give it an end. At that time I was still on drugs, and then I wanted to jump.
So is that the lowest point in your life?
It's like something struck me that I felt very depressed. So I thought, wow. Then all these thoughts came in. You see, you smoke until all your wife, your kids all gone, and your friends all leave you alone. Even your brothers don't want to talk to you, avoiding you, everything. You jump down once and for all, settle everything. So I was thinking, I was standing at the window, and then there's a very soft voice that came in. I said, if you have the courage to jump down, why not you use this courage to walk into a halfway house and change your life? So, I dare not jump. Okay, 10th floor. I was thinking, this is not a bad idea also, going to a halfway house. So that was the first time I go to a halfway house. But
that was the first time you went to a halfway house. Okay.
With the wrong mindset. I want to quit my addiction.
As recently as 2008?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, not successful. So after 1 year, I left the place, and I go back to drugs, and I go to another halfway house, also same. Then until the third time, I think it was 2010, 2011. So I go to that place, and then I stay total for about 3 years. And then I start to get close to God. And then at first, I can't even read the Bible. Because once I open, I said, God, I don't know what you're talking about, to be very honest. I totally got no idea what you're talking about in the scripture. Then I pray. I say, God, I want to learn. Right? Can you send me your Holy Spirit and guide me while I'm reading your words? Let me understand it easier. And from that time onwards, I get to read the Bible easier and easier. But you have to practice a lot. So I read a lot of other books together with the Bible, those commentaries, all that. I start to learn from there, and then I pray, I say, God, you help me to apply what you say in the Bible into what I'm living now. How do I apply your verses, your message into my life now? And then I start to understand more.
What do you think is the one or two of the biggest lessons that you applied in real life, applicable one?
In real life?
Yeah.
We have to be true to ourselves. And then also, we have to share our problems out. If we are facing struggles, a problem, we have to look for someone who are able to help us instead of we face it using our own method, because our own methods are not workable. So it's good that you have a group of friends beside you to throw in all these supports when it needs. Likewise, we can also be that support to others. So this is what I learned all these years. When we help someone, we are not expecting a return. I'm not expecting something in return for helping you. I only hope that what I help you now, you can pass it on. Which means that when you think you are stronger enough, you are stable, your foundation is strong, or you are very good in your own career or your business, you help someone when you saw that someone is in need of help. Just pass it on.
So you pass the light forward.
Yeah.
So looking back now, you felt that on that day in 2008 when you were standing on the 10th floor, God gave you that message.
Yeah.
To ask you to check into the halfway house.
Yeah, I think so.
And
from the halfway house, I start learning. So especially when I look up, I was reading a book about Peter, and then I prayed to God also. Peter was the one who walked on the water. Okay, I was praying to God. I say, God, I want to be like Peter. I want to encounter you. I don't want to be the 11 disciples who was sleeping in the boat. I want to be like. And then, wow, a lot of movement in my life. So when I encounter a lot of grace from God, a lot of help, a lot of times then when I'm facing struggles, then I overcome and I learn by the help of all these angels that were sent by God, all these people beside me. That's why I encourage others that come, join our group. We help one another. We uphold one another. We watch over one another's back. This is what we do.
And to you now, every person that you are able to help is one person help.
Everyone we help, they will come back and help others. I always remember Mother Teresa this verse. If you cannot feed 100, feed one. So we help one at a time. And from so many volunteers, everybody is helping one. And then we have partners.
And actually, every drug abuser that you help, right? Because behind every drug abuser is always more people who are upset and feeling very helpless. Their family, their loved ones. So helping one drug abuser is actually helping more people more than one.
Yeah, but
it's a community of their families and their friends.
But we have to focus on that one first. So when this individual is getting stronger, and then we will try our best to connect with the family, and then to show them actually what we are doing and what he's doing now. So we hope that one day they will reconcile back and they have a good relationship with the family again.
In life, right? So you have been through that mentality whereby it's 烂命一条.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the time when I was thinking of committing suicide. Nothing left. So nothing to lose. But gain everything. That's the thought I have. Once you jump down, you got nothing to lose. But you gain everything. Everybody have a peaceful life. Okay, for once and for all, your family will not worry about you and everything. Yeah. So a lot of people, they give up because of these thoughts. They never think that, hey, actually I can change my life by the help of support groups.
Can I ask you, what eventually happened to your father?
My father died in hospital at the age of 70.
But his substance abuse, because he was addicted to heroin, right?
Heroin and opium.
So how did he eventually? Did he die with a clean? Did he manage to cut his addiction?
Oh, no, he was an addict until he died. So my brother helps him a lot to help him the money on help him to obtain the opium and all that. So during the day he died, I still remember I was in Thailand doing my NS. So there is a telegram, and then I came back from Thailand, and then I go to visit him in the hospital, and he was on his deathbed. So that time the opium still with the hospital in the drawer. I think for the first few days the nurse let him take. So then they changed shift. Then another nurse said cannot. This is illegal drugs. You cannot take this. That was the time he came over. So when I came back, he was still in an unconscious state already. Like he's waiting for me. I think seems like he's waiting for me. So he was like half dead, and then he was sleeping, and then he just opened his eyes, and then he saw me, and he called my nickname. Okay, during the young time, he don't call my name anymore. Oh, he called me, hey, you come back already? I say, yeah. I say, Papa, yeah, I come back already. Then he sleep again. Then wake up again. Then he look at me. He called me again, hey, you come back already?
So already in a state of confusion. And
yeah, so after 3-4 times, then I talk to him. I say, I'm capable of making a living myself now. I'm a big boy now. So if you're tired, you just rest. If you're tired, you rest. Don't keep on waking up. That was the time he go.
So actually he had you when he was quite old.
Yeah, 50 years old.
50 years old, then he had you, yeah. Okay.
So you can imagine the life was very tough for me during the younger days. I start working. I start to work at 9 years old during my school days. Like half day school, morning go to school, afternoon go and sell otah, all that. So Saturday, Sunday we go and sell people. Last time we don't have 4D. The 4D result only printed on newspaper. We don't have smartphone, all that. Daily text all don't have. So that was the time I make my own money, and then I'm quite smart in making money, all that. I'm street smart. So that's how I support myself all these years.
Okay. Your wife?
Yeah.
Two times your wife.
Yeah, she's a very good wife.
Okay.
She brings up the kid.
How many kids do you have?
I got 2 boys.
Okay.
Yeah, I got 2 boys.
How old are they?
The eldest one now he's studying at NIE for first year, and then the younger boy is poly, also preschool.
So
studying preschool.
Both will probably become teachers.
Yeah.
Okay. NIE, that means 29. Finish NS already?
Finish NS already.
So maybe in his early 20s.
Yeah. He's born in year 2000.
Year 2000. Millennial baby. Okay. So are you on good terms with them?
Yeah, we talk.
Okay.
So until when I came back, I apologize to my boys and then tell them what happened to me. So I think it's a must to apologize to them for not being there during that period of time.
Were they against the mother remarrying you again?
I'm not sure. I never asked them before, but I think they're quite good term with me also.
There must have been some apprehension when the second time.
Yeah, but only for my younger boys My younger boys, we actually from the beginning we are actually not in very good term. But slowly I think he understand.
Okay. I'm curious about your thoughts on recently there has been some comments on the death penalty that drug traffickers in Singapore face. There are some people who are pro-life, right? And they feel that death penalty is it's a system that should not exist in Singapore today.
Okay.
So we should give chances and all. And the ultimate sentence, right, should not be death penalty.
Okay.
On the other hand, the Minister for Law and Home Affairs, Minister Shanmugam, I think recently he was interviewed by some foreign media.
Yeah, okay.
And he also spoke about this death penalty issue. He spoke about how even with the death penalty, right, because the trade is so lucrative, so financially rewarding, right, we still see drug abusers and syndicates in Singapore, like we earlier discussed about. Do you support the death penalty, or what are your views on death penalty for drug traffickers?
What we have now, a place called home, Singapore, is because of this law that was being set up by our Mr. Lee, our Lee Kuan Yew. We have a place so nice, so many people admire, and so many people want to take over. Call home. It's because of these laws. If you don't hit, if you are not trying to brush with the law, actually this laws does not apply to you. This is what I always tell them. Death penalty. If you don't try to smuggle drugs into Singapore, this death penalty is nothing to you. Just like my friends who are smokers, they always complain, wow, nowadays smoking is very tough. I have to go and look for yellow box, and then coming soon, and all those parks, all those seaside also cannot smoke already. I just tell them, this law does not apply to me. I quit smoking. So, in another hand, that means this law only applies to people who are trying to break the laws. So for those who argue about all these penalties, all these things, these are the people we have to look very carefully into their life. I think these are the people who are trying to break the laws. So my catch is, if you are not trying to break the law or brush with such laws, this laws does not apply to you. You can look at all those other countries, all those junkies hanging around. Recently, I saw clips about Africa. They were so heavily addicted to all those cough syrups. It's scary. As young as a 5, 6, 7 years old boy, you can see almost everyone, they have a bottle of cough syrup in their hands.
Cough syrup is to feel high also?
Yes. They have a certain chemical will make them dozy, go high, but for a while only. So you can see, especially they are in those very poor places. They stay in very poor places. It's scary.
Because there have been some executions of traffickers who obviously they are not the boss. They are just a vehicle.
Okay.
And some of them, I'm sure you can sympathize with them that they might be not in a good place in their life also, financially and all. And that's why they have been brainwashed, or they have been conned, or they have been influenced to traffic all these drugs. And unfortunately, they got caught, and the law is so strict and such that they have to face the death penalty. So
this is the consequences you have to face when you choose this. Because we are all grown up. Anything or everything we do, there is always a consequences that follows up. So if you are thinking that this is easy money for you to make, by all means, I don't know what problems you are facing, but when you do drugs, definitely 100% you think this is the easiest way, fastest way to make money. So you have to face the consequences. So there's nothing to blame. So this is your choice.
Other than your faith, right?
Yeah.
And Christianity, right? Were there any other things that you did to your own mindset that helped you recover?
There are certain things that I have to convince myself.
Okay.
Just like some people will give me, like, share with me, wow, Brother Alvin, it's very hard to quit. I want to be like you all, very hard, cannot. And then they will quote excuses. Or you see this brother, that brother from where, halfway house, he was staying there for 10 years, 12 years, he come out only, straight away, he pensan already. So, for this group of people, they are planning excuses for them to relapse.
So they wouldn't be surprised if they relapse lah.
Yes.
If they don't relapse, then they are surprised themselves.
Yes. So they are planning, they are finding excuses, scapegoat for them to come down the ladder easier. This 12 years already also relapsed. So I don't look at these people. I look at the one who is successful. I told myself, I saw this brother. Wow. From last time he go inside halfway house, after that he stay there for many years, and then he become a staff, and then he go for further his study, and then he become a volunteer now, successful. So I look at these people. And I pray, I say, God, I want to be like this. You help me. And again, this is not a one man's work. You need a group of people to help you. There might not be a lot of group during my times, but this is why we started all this group. We have a group now to help. The only thing is that you have to make the choice to walk to us. We cannot kidnap you.
Cannot force you.
We cannot kidnap you. You must come to my group or what. Right? Then end up we will be inside for kidnapping. So you have to make that choice to join us.
Okay. A lot of people have young people. Now we talk about YOLO.
YOLO.
So YOLO means many things you must at least try. Try one time. Or at least know what is it about. So, in fact, I was talking to some friends. Recently, Thailand legalized weed.
Yeah.
So, they were also talking about like, hey, if got chance, one day go Thailand can try, because YOLO. Not that we want to become drug abuser or drug addicts, but just that we want to try one time. That's one thing. The other thing that I think the Minister Shanmugam has very correctly talked about is when other people, other countries, right, start to legalize this thing, and it becomes the norm. And honestly, as I consume US podcasts, right, I see all these US celebrities, Snoop Dogg lah, Joe Rogan lah, they talk about smoking weed like something that's very, very cool one, If you don't dare to do it, right, or if you never tried before, right, it feels like you are missing out on something in life. Then you only live once, so then you FOMO. First you YOLO, then you FOMO, and that's why it's people want to try the first time, and that's where the slippery slope can happen, right?
Yes, because this type of drugs, the chemicals inside that, they will make your mind change, especially they make you feel normal, make you feel good, just like exercising. When you exercise, our brain releases some substance. Same thing to the drugs.
Okay.
They make you feel good. And then especially when we're talking about Singapore laws and other countries, if you think that Thailand opens up, legalize weed, you want to go there and try once, you have to tell yourself there is consequences you might have to face. When you come back Singapore, when you're at the custom, happens that there is operation on that day, when the CNB officer look at your face and they say, okay, come, I need to bring you for urine test. Your life game over, your life is gone. Okay, you will be put into DRC. Just for that one time. Do you think it's worth it? Or why not? For some who always complain about Singapore that we are so strict, we don't legalize. Why not you make enough money and move yourself out of Singapore? Just give up the Singapore citizenship and move to a place where you like. Happy. That's your life. If you are staying here and you choose to be a Singaporean because it's safe here, and then you complain about government who imply so many rules and regulations that suffocate you, move out.
It's a choice, right?
Yes, it's a choice.
It's a choice.
And then most of all, You know the big boss who have a big plantation producing all these weed products in US. This fella spent so much money looking for scientists, those top doctors, all that scientists to write articles that all those scientific benefits about his production, all these weed products. And this fella forbid his whole family from using the product his company produced. Can you imagine that? It's totally different thing. In one hand, he asked this scientist to write article to promote his products, and in another way, he asked you don't let his family use any of his product. What does it mean?
If it's good, he should be giving it to his kids, right? Sharpen the mind,
See, what
do
does it
better
mean?
in school. Yeah.
So this one you have to be wise lah. In yourself that why is he doing such things?
I mean, what's your philosophy to living life nowadays? What do you think is a good life?
A good life is a life that we are free to choose what we don't want to do. It's not what we want to do.
Don't want to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Like now, I am free. I can choose not to do drugs. So I'm happy. I'm happy with my life. I can meet with friends. And then my trust is back. And then I'm helping others to bring back their trust of their family. So this is life. The purpose of life, that actually we can help someone else. Disregard of our financial status, our education background, or how rich we are, how handsome, how whatever. We don't need this to help people. We just need a very sincere heart to help people. Because when you're helping people, there are groups of people who are observing you. They will actually come in and support you. I have a few support from people who I totally don't know. But because I'm doing this, and then they say, I saw your Facebook, you're doing this, I just want to help you. To help that person. So they remain anonymous. So you see, we are just like the front line.
Okay.
But we have to be accountable for what we are doing. That's why when we go to help, we post. It's not because we want to get publicity. We want to boast about what we are doing. It's because there are things that others don't understand. We are accountable. There are certain supports from people we don't know, especially financially. We want to tell them what you pass to us is helping this is happening. All your money has gone to do this. So we are very clear about that. And then we promise it won't repeat. So you can see.
Won't
repeat.
Repeat, okay.
When we are helping this person, there might be someone also sharing, also got support. So we tell them, this, how much? Got receipt, we show you, we will send to the donor, and then this is your part of money. So for this donor, we'll be doing other things. We will tell them, this money is donor XXX.
Okay.
This donor, they will know.
So there's accountability and there's transparency in the process.
It's not about boasting. Some people, they don't understand. Wow, you have to post, man. It's individual.
Are you able to quite be independent in your emotions now, dealing with all this negative sound, noise?
Yeah, I'm. Ever since we have support groups, we have groups of friends, and then we can easily cope with this type of things now. Especially all those negative comments from others people, we just laugh. We cannot stop them. But we can stop ourselves from how we respond to his comment.
There will always be people who
So we cannot stop anybody from talking.
And they are just keyboard warriors. They are just
So but we can stop ourselves on responding to him. So we have to learn how to turn away sometimes.
So what's your advice for people who are still stuck in the cycle?
Look for help.
Look for help.
Yes, you can always come to us. You can look for us on Facebook. You send us message through messengers. Then see how we can offer help to you, or how we can link you to institution that can help you. Or you can, if you want to remain anonymous, like you got friends, you know they are on drugs, and then you don't want to let people know who you are, then there is also hotline like Sana, Talk to Sana. You can Google Talk to Sana. Then there is a hotline you can call. There is a trained they are trained counselors. Then they can talk to you. Then you will remain anonymous.
So it's very difficult to do it alone.
Very difficult. Even now, we don't help addicts alone. For us, if we have to go and help someone, we will go in a team, either 2 or 3. We don't go alone because the temptation is too strong. The temptation is too strong, and then also because of our background, and then it's not wise to go alone. So normally we will call up.
The temptation is the temptation to experience the drug again.
You see, there are sometimes this devil, he would like to throw in things in your
flirt
mind.
With you.
Yeah, I say, you are doing so well now. Even you smoke, nobody will know. You see, these are the things that will happen in our mind. Don't worry, nobody knows one. Just take one puff, 2 puff. See, these are the things we have to avoid. We don't give him chance to tempt us. So the best thing is that we work in a group.
So have a support network.
Yes.
Go in 2-3%, like triangle stronger than one dot.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Just now you talk about your regret. Only one, not studying hard.
Not studying hard enough.
Recently, I learned this phrase. It's called 万般皆下品，唯有读书高。You know, only education is something that's truly we can change life.
Yeah, a lot of people, they don't think it that way. They thought actually when you are studying, you're reading a lot of things. It will make you wiser, and you tend to know more. This is why I once since I started to do the Triad trails. We go into a lot of history things. So this was totally another world to me. See, right? I PSLE, where I go through all these history things, and then especially you have to lead a tour, and then you have to talk to them, explain to them, and then sometimes people will throw questions at you, all those funny questions. They might know more than you. So how we react, and then bring out in a more candid way to let people know more about Singapore. So this is a challenge. We go through, and then we survive. And then we're training people. So everything is possible as long as we put in effort.
People sometimes have this wrong impression of education. They think that is go to school, then it's already past you already. They already past the age to study and to learn. But actually, like you said earlier, learning is a lifelong thing.
Yeah, learning is.
And you can always make a decision to learn new things.
Yeah.
Other than the Bible, were there any other resources that help you? Any particular book or any YouTube channel or someone that you watch?
Sometimes when I want to know something, I will Google, and then I start. Once you start Google for one thing, and then it will link to other things. So we keep learning. So I think now we have smartphone is very convenient for us to gain more knowledge or that, because most of all these articles are written by very smart people. They are all those scientists, doctors, all that. They wrote down. They're very successful businessmen. So we learn in a shorter way. Instead of them, they have gone through so much in order to write this thing out. But we are learning in an express one. So we have to feel very blessed in this era, I think. Yeah. We're all very blessed.
Yeah. So until the day you finish this journey on this part of your life, right?
Yeah.
what's your goal for the rest of your time and your life?
This journey, you mean on earth?
On earth, because you also mentioned about how until the day you die, then you can say about I am clean and I'm successful, right?
Yeah. So my only wish is when I die, I go back to see my creator, and then he tell me, yeah, you're my faithful servant, welcome home. Instead of telling me I don't know you. So our biggest wish is we go back to our creator, and our creator welcome us home, say, welcome back, my faithful and loyal servant. I have a place for you. This is what we want.
Okay. And what are your plans, short term or long term? What can people expect from you?
For now, we live day by day, because tomorrow is never promised. So whenever today, if we met someone who need help, and we are able to offer that help, just help. Be it just a cup of water or simple meal.
Within the capacity of
Yes.
what you can do.
Yeah. Because tomorrow, nobody knows about tomorrow.
Okay. What's your concern on your mind right now?
My concern,
Yeah.
my concern, of course, my wife, 2 boys. I hope they have a healthy body, and then also especially my kids, that they can grow up to become who they really want. They can be happy for what they're doing. They have the passion in their the career they choose for themselves. This is what I want. I'm not expecting anything back from them. I just hope that they live their life happily, because one day they're going to become a parents also, and they will have their own life to encounter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have a message for your wife?
The only thing I want to say to her is I want to thank her for all these years that even when I was on drugs, she bring the kids away. She make a wise choice, so that all my activities was not exposed to the kids during their younger days. She's a very good wife. I thank her, and I just want to tell her I love you. I love you for what you have done to the family. You're a great wife, a great mom, and a great friend.
Yeah, because your kid could have grown up in an environment, right?
Yeah.
Whereby they saw their father, abusing substance and all. Yeah. My mother, I share this with this story about my mother. My family, right, is a Pai family.
Okay.
So my parents, right, my father, and his cousins, right, since young, their favorite pastime is to hang out at the temple. Then got festivities, got events, and they love to go and help, and they will hang out in the temple. So my father, his cousins, and many of his children, right, also grew up with a similar kind of environment also. Because the father go to the temple, then the kids follow, and they go to the same environment. My mother, after she married my father, right, she said that we not allowed to go to the temple except 2-3 times a year. That means during the God's birthday, big event, right? Okay, the kids can go and pray, go and ask for, pray for good health, pray for good studies and everything. Chinese New Year, all of us will go to the temple together. But normal days, right? No. Don't go there and and go there and, and just hang around there and do nothing, So my mother has always felt that environment is very important also. And I also thank my mother, because I think that if not for her philosophy, right, I know that when I was younger, right, my focus might not be so much on studies. It might just be to go and have fun at the temple, enjoy some activities, some festivities and all. And environment is very important. Yeah. Do you have any other things to add?
Yeah, talking about temple, I grew up in the environment. I learned a lot of things in the temple during my younger days.
What's your most memorable experience? Or
Actually, it's a journey. I want to thank God that He has put me in a journey to learn all these, so many things about religious. So I get to know more. I'm more equipped in knowing all these religious. So most of the religious, like everyone always say, teaches people to be good. All these religious teach people to be good. But for us, so I got no comment about other religions. But for us, Christianity, we are not a religion. Christianity is a relationship with God. So, for what teaches us is that love the people who are beside you. Respect them. Love them when they are still alive. This is the biggest thing we have to do. When our parents are still alive, we treat them well, be filial to them, okay? Because one day when they are gone, no matter how many food you put on the table or how hard you call them, they won't be able to eat. So when they are still alive, feed them well. Okay. Whatever they like to eat, just buy for them, accompany them. So this is the most important thing I want to share with people. If you still have a parents beside you, spend a little bit more time with them. They are not those parents. For me, I'm a parent now. I'm not expecting my son, next time when you make a lot of money, or you must buy this, buy that for me, I want to eat this. No. As long as they come back, I can cook a simple porridge, or they buy a simple Chiong or whatever they eat with me, I'm very happy because why? They are safe. They are healthy. This is what parents wish. So I wish all parents out there and all the people out there, spend a little time with your family. Especially got elderly at home. Just eat with them, drink coffee with them. Or even when they chit-chat with them, whatever they want to say, laugh with them. Just laugh with them. Because they might be gone any time. Okay. For us, same.
Do you get in touch with your mother again?
Oh, my mom no more. Yeah. My mom passed on when I was 12 years old.
3 years old?
12 years.
Oh, 12 years old.
So 7, she left us. Then 12 years old, when I go and see her again, it was awake service.
Oh, okay. So you never had a chance to...
So in between, I saw her twice.
Okay.
There was the first time she came back to visit through other people. The second time, I was hospitalized. And then she go to hospital to visit me.
She came to see you. Okay.
So it's quite blur, her image.
Quite blur. Yeah, after so many years. Do you have any other things to add?
I think that's all. I have covered quite a lot.
Yeah, we covered quite a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing today.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
No, it's an honor. I actually, one thing that I didn't expect was that I didn't expect you to actually, I thought you were clean for quite many years already. Actually, it's quite fairly recent.
Yeah, about 14 years, 12 years.
You have been sober for about 11 years, 12 years since 2010, 2011, right? 2010. It's not a very long time.
Yeah, it's not long.
Yeah, it's not very
That's
long.
why I always say only after the day we die, we can consider successful.
Yeah. Okay. And also, okay, maybe one last question. You know, for people, right, who sometimes they feel that they don't have 缘分 with Christianity. Because sometimes, for me, sometimes my impression, right, when people talk about Christianity, right, people always talk about the relationship with God and the message that God sent them, right? And sometimes you feel like, I don't have this kind of connection, you know. For people who are curious and they are trying to accept God into their life, right? But they are feeling a bit apprehensive. Is this for me, you know, and all? What would you like to tell them?
So many people, they have different views on Christians, because Christian also got many dominions. So they are charismatic, they are Presbyterian, all that. So it depends on how you look at that person, and that's why I say it's a relationship between you and God, not you and pastor, you and your elder or who. Okay, they are just a servant of God that God appointed them to teach in the church. So you have to build your own relationship with God, which means Just like if you have a girlfriend, you spend time with her, you know what she like to eat, you know what she like to drink, you know what she don't like, you avoid doing things she don't like. Same thing. If you spend enough time with God, you will definitely slowly you will understand.
So for you spend time with God by?
We do quiet times. Until today, I still do quiet time.
Quiet time
in the morning.
Oh, so that means
I
you
read the Bible.
Oh,
And then pray. And then read through the message on the day when I read, and I ask God, what do you want to tell me today? So this is a time I will not miss. Be it early in the morning, or even sometimes morning, I really don't have that extra time. I must make sure I do it.
Sometime in the day?
Yes.
Okay.
Be it in even in the train, you can do that. Because smartphone, that's why it is so convenient. We can use our smartphone, we can use Bible apps, all that. So there is no way that you tell people I got no time.
So because in the whole course of a day, it's a
everybody
matter of whether you want or don't want.
Everybody,
decision again.
Everybody got 24 hours a day. Nobody got extra. I don't have extra. Even our president, they only also same 24 hours a day. So if they can do so much thing, and then we are finding excuses that I don't have enough time, or that is, I think it's very lousy. So it's a choice lah. There's everything. There's a choice lah. Either you want to do it or don't want.
Okay, great. Alvin, I thank you so much for making time here today.
Yeah, thanks too.
I wish you and your family good health.
Yeah, thank you. Well, very important now.
Yeah,
good health.
Good health. I see that you have been very responsible also, testing for COVID and all.
Yeah, because of my elder boy, he caught COVID positive.
Okay.
So my whole family lah. So we are doing this for 5 days straight continuously. So today is the day 5 lah.
Okay, great. And also, I also always feel that, like, earlier before we started, we were talking about how all this content that's put out, right? In the course of the years that this piece of content is on YouTube, if someone even just one person, can look at this conversation that we had today and be inspired to seek help or to do something, a change to their life or to make their life better, right? I think we have not waste our time today.
Yeah. I always believe that someone somewhere out there, this message can reach out to them, that they can still find hope and love in the message. So don't give up. Just like what other people did to me during my incarceration, they never gave up on us. So I'm not giving up on anyone of the addicts.
And never give up on yourself also.
Yeah. Keep on moving lah.
Yeah. If there's still tomorrow, there's still hope.
Yeah, every morning when we can open up our eyes, there's a new hope.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Alvin.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.